Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to the channel, where we talk about living healthier, happier, and wiser as we embrace our golden years. I'm so glad you're here today, because we're diving into something that I know hits home for so many of us, especially if you're over 65 or getting close to it. Today's topic, decluttering. Yep, we're talking about letting go of the old stuff that's been piling up in your home, your garage, maybe even your heart, and how doing so can help you live longer, lighter, and freer. You know, I was chatting with a dear friend the other day. She's 68, vibrant, full of life, but she was feeling weighed down, not by health issues or family drama, but by stuff. Boxes of old clothes, stacks of magazines in the 90s, furniture she hadn't used in decades. She said, "I feel like my house is suffocating me, but I don't know where to start." And I totally got it. After years of building a life, raising kids, and collecting memories, it's easy to end up in a home that feels more like a storage unit than a sanctuary. But here's the thing. Decluttering isn't just about tidying up. It's about creating space, physically, mentally, and emotionally, so you can focus on what truly matters in this beautiful chapter of life. Studies, like one from the Journal of Gerontology, show that a clutter-free environment can reduce stress, improve mental clarity, and even lower the risk of falls, which is so important as we age. Plus, it's a gift to yourself and your loved ones, making your home safer and your life simpler. So today, I'm sharing 5 rules for throwing out your old stuff after 65. These aren't just tips. They're a roadmap to help you declutter with purpose, without feeling overwhelmed or guilty. Whether you're downsizing, refreshing your space, or just ready to let go, these rules will guide you to a home that feels like a breath of fresh air. And don't worry, I'm not here to tell you to toss out your grandma's china or your favorite recliner. This is about letting go of what's holding you back and making room for joy. Before we dive in, grab a cup of coffee, tea, or maybe a glass of water, and let's make this a cozy heart-to-heart chat. If you're watching this and thinking, "Oh, I need this," hit that like button. It helps the channel so much. And subscribe if you haven't already. Let's build this community of wise, vibrant folks who want to live their best lives. All right, let's get started with rule number 1. Rule number 1, start with why. Define your purpose for decluttering. Let's kick things off with the most important step, figuring out why you want to declutter. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, this is the foundation of everything. Without a clear why, it's easy to start sorting through your stuff, get overwhelmed, and give up. So, let's take a moment to reflect. For me, when I hit my mid-60s, I realized my home was full of things I hadn't touched in years. Old hobby supplies, clothes that didn't fit, even gadgets I didn't know how to use anymore. It wasn't just clutter, it was a weight on my shoulders. Every time I walked into my spare room, I felt this nagging stress, like I was failing at keeping my life together. That's when I sat down and asked myself, why do I want to declutter? My answer? I wanted peace. I wanted a home that felt calm, where I could relax, invite friends over, and not feel embarrassed by the chaos. Your why might be different. Maybe you want to make your home safer, so you can move around without tripping over boxes. Maybe you're thinking about downsizing to a smaller place or an assisted living community. Or maybe you just want to make things easier for your kids or grandkids down the road, so they're not stuck sorting through decades of stuff. Whatever it is, write it down. Stick it on a Post-it note and put it on your fridge. That why will keep you motivated when the going gets tough. Here's a practical tip. Take 10 minutes today to journal about your why. Ask yourself, how will decluttering change my life? How will it make me feel? If you're not a writer, talk it out with a friend, or even say it out loud to yourself. The key is to make it personal. This isn't about what society says your home should look like. It's about what you need to thrive. And here's a little wisdom from my own journey. Decluttering is not about perfection. It's about progress. You don't need a Pinterest-worthy house. You just need a space that supports your health, your happiness, and your dreams for the season of life. So let's hold on to that why as we move to rule number 2. Rule number 2, tackle one small area at a time. Avoid the overwhelm. Okay, now that you've got your why, let's talk about how to start. One of the biggest mistakes I see, and I've made it myself, is try to declutter your entire house in one go. You think, I'm going to spend this weekend sorting every closet, drawer, and shelf. And then by Sunday, you're exhausted, surrounded by piles of stuff, and ready to give up. Sound familiar? Here's the secret. Start small, really small, like one drawer, one shelf, or even one corner of a room. The goal is to build momentum without burning out. There's this concept in psychology called small wins, and it's so powerful. Every time you clear out a small space, you get a boost of confidence and energy to keep going. Let me share a story. My friend Barbara, who's 70, decided to declutter her kitchen last year. She was dreading it because her cabinets were stuffed with old pots, mismatched Tupperware, and gadgets she hadn't used since the Reagan administration. Instead of tackling the whole kitchen, I suggested she start with one drawer, the utensil drawer. She spent 20 minutes sorting through it, keeping only the tools she used regularly, like her favorite spatula and a good pair of tongs. She donated the rest to a local thrift store. By the end of that 20 minutes, she was beaming. She said, I didn't realize how good it would feel to have one organized drawer. That one win gave her the motivation to move on to the next drawer, then a cabinet, and eventually the whole kitchen. So here's your action step. Pick one small area to start with. It could be your nightstand, a bathroom cabinet, or even your purse. Set a timer for 15 minutes and sort through it. Ask yourself 3 questions for each item. Do I use it regularly? Does it bring me joy? Would I buy it again today? If the answer is no to all 3, it's probably time to let it go. Sort items into 3 piles. Keep, donate, and trash. And don't worry about making perfect decisions. Just do your best. You can always revisit later. One more tip, make it fun. Put on your favorite music, maybe some Frank Sinatra or the Beatles, and treat it like a little adventure. You're not just cleaning. You're creating a space that reflects the vibrant, wise person you are. All right, let's move on to rule number 3. Rule number 3, let go of guilt. It's okay to say goodbye. This one's a biggie, and it's where a lot of us get stuck. Guilt. Oh, that sneaky feeling that creeps in when you're about to toss out something you should keep. Maybe it's a sweater your daughter gave you 10 years ago that you've never worn. Or a set of dishes you spent a fortune on but haven't used in decades. Or those craft supplies you bought for a hobby you never really got into. We hold on to these things because we feel guilty letting them go, like we're betraying someone or wasting money. I get it. I had a box of old letters and cards from my kids when they were little. Every time I thought about tossing them, I'd feel this pang of guilt, like I was throwing away their love. But here's what I learned. Letting go of the stuff doesn't mean letting go of the memories or the love. Those live in your heart, not in a dusty box in the attic. So, how do you let go of guilt? First, reframe what decluttering means. It's not about throwing away your past. It's about making room for your present and future. That sweater from your daughter? Take a photo of it. Send it to her with a sweet note. And then donate it to someone who will love wearing it. Those dishes? If they're in good condition, give them to a young couple starting out or a local charity. You're not wasting them. You're giving them a new life. Here's a practical strategy, one called the thank you and goodbye method. It sounds a little woo-woo, but bear with me. When you're struggling to let go of something, hold it in your hands. Thank it for the role it played in your life. And then say goodbye. For example, with those craft supplies, you might say, thank you for inspiring me to try something new. I'm letting you go now so someone else can create with you. It's a small ritual, but it helps you honor the item's place in your life while giving yourself permission to move on. And if you're worried about what your family might think, talk to them. Ask your kids or grandkids if they want anything before you donate or toss it. Most of the time, you'll be surprised. They don't want that old furniture or those knickknacks. They want you happy and stress-free. One last thought on guilt. Be kind to yourself. Decluttering is emotional, and it's okay to feel a little sad or conflicted. That's part of the process. Just keep coming back to your why from rule number 1, and remind yourself that you're doing this for your health, your peace, and your joy. Now, let's talk about rule number 4. Rule number 4. Keep what sparks joy, but be honest. You probably heard of Marie Kondo. and her Spark Joy philosophy. It's a great starting point. But for those of us in our 60s and beyond, it's not just about joy. It's about what fits the life we're living now. Rule number 4 is about keeping the things that truly matter, but being honest with yourself about what those things are. Let's break it down. As we age, our needs and priorities change. The high heels you rocked in your 40s might not be practical anymore. That massive dining table for family dinners might not make sense if your kids have moved away. And those books you've been meaning to read someday, if someday hasn't happened in 10 years, it might be time to let them go. Here's how to decide what to keep. Does it serve a purpose? If you use it regularly, like your favorite coffee mug or your gardening tools, it's a keeper. Does it make you happy? If looking at it brings a smile, like a photo of your grandkids or a painting you love, keep it. Does it fit your life now? Be honest. If you're not hosting big parties anymore, you probably don't need 12 wine glasses. A friend of mine, Tom, who's 67, went through this when he downsized from a big house to a condo. He had a garage full of tools from his days as a DIY enthusiast. He loved those tools, but he hadn't touched them in years, and his new place didn't have space for a workshop. Instead of keeping them just in case, he gave them to his neighbor's son, who was starting a carpentry business. Tom said it felt liberating to pass them on to someone who'd use them, and it freed up space for a cozy reading nook in his condo. One thing to watch out for, the "I might need it someday" trap. We've all fallen into it. But here's a rule of thumb. If you haven't used it in 2 years and it's not sentimental, you probably don't need it. And if it's something you could easily replace, like an extra set of sheets or a spare blender, let it go. You're not going to miss it, I promise. Here's a fun challenge. Pick one category, like clothes or books, and do a joy check. Lay everything out, and only keep what truly sparks joy or serves a purpose. Donate the rest to a local senior center, library, or thrift store. You'll be amazed at how good it feels to lighten your load. Rule number 5, make it a lifestyle. Declutter regularly. All right, we're at our final rule, and this one's about making decluttering a part of your life, not just a one-time project. Think of it like exercise or eating healthy. It's not something you do once and forget about. It's a habit that keeps you feeling your best. The truth is, stuff accumulates. Even after a big declutter, new things creep in: gifts, impulse buys, paperwork. If you don't stay on top of it, you'll end up right back where you started. But don't worry, it doesn't have to be a chore. Here are a few ways to make decluttering a lifestyle. The one in, one out rule. For every new item you bring into your home, let go of something else. Buy a new sweater, donate an old one. Get a new kitchen gadget, pass on the one you don't use. The 15-minute daily tidy. Spend 15 minutes each day tidying up a small area. It could be your desk, your fridge, or even your email inbox. Those little efforts add up. The annual declutter day. Pick a day each year, maybe your birthday or the first day of spring, to do a bigger declutter. Go through your closets, cabinets, and storage spaces, and let go of anything that no longer fits your life. I love what my friend Susan does. She's 72 and has a declutter party every summer. She invites a few friends over. They sip iced tea, play some music, and help each other sort through a room or two. It's not just productive, it's a blast. Plus, they donate everything to a local charity, which feels so rewarding. Another tip, involve your family or friends. Not only does it make the process more fun, but they can offer perspective. Sometimes, it's easy to let go of something when someone you trust says, "You don't need this anymore." And if you're feeling stuck, consider hiring a professional organizer. They're like a personal trainer for your home, worth every penny if you can afford it. The key is to make decluttering feel like self-care, not a punishment. Every time you let go of something, you're creating space for what matters. Time with loved ones, hobbies you love, or just a piece of a calm home. And that, my friends, is the secret to living longer and happier. Well, there you have it. 5 rules for throwing out your old stuff after 65. Let's recap real quick. Start with your why to stay motivated. Tackle one small area at a time to avoid overwhelm. Let go of guilt by honoring the past and moving forward. Keep what sparks joy and fits your life now. Make decluttering a lifestyle with small, consistent habits. I hope this has inspired you to take that first step, no matter how small. Decluttering isn't just about cleaning your house. It's about creating a life that feels lighter, freer, and full of possibility. You deserve a home that supports your health, your happiness, and your dreams for this incredible season of life. If you're ready to start, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me your why or the first area you're going to tackle. And if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and share with a friend who might need a little decluttering encouragement. Together, we're building a community of wise, vibrant folks who want to live their best lives. And I'm so grateful to have you here. Before I go, here's a little quote to carry with you. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. That's from Plato. And I think it's a beautiful reminder that less stuff means more room for joy. Keep shining, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy, stay happy, and keep living wisely.